Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and today I am going to show you installation and configuration of Hyper-V cluster with StarWind Virtual SAN. So for this, let's have some idea about my demo environment. In my demo environment, I am using 3 virtual machines to install and configure Hyper-V cluster. My first machine is Active Directory domain server, which is Win2K16 DC01, and I have two Hyper-V hosts, Hyper-V01 and Hyper-V02. So let's check out the machine configuration. This is my Win2K16 DC01. I have installed Active Directory and DNS role, and my domain name is Victor Infosol. If you go and check my Hyper-V host, this is my first host, Hyper-V01. I have installed Hyper-V role on this server and joined to my domain. Also, I have created few virtual machine on the Hyper-V, and on the second Hyper-V host, I have installed also Hyper-V role and joined to my domain, and I have created one machine on it. So this is all about the uh, uh, my virtual machine which I'm going to use in this demo. So let's move step by step installation and configuration of Hyper-V cluster. So in this demo I'm going to use 7 step to build and create Hyper-V cluster. So in first part, download and install StarWind on Win2K16 DC01. I'm going on my DC, going to download. I have previously downloaded with StarWind. The latest version for now it's StarWind version 8. So I'm going to double click the setup. Here is the screen. Welcome to StarWind Virtual SAN what setup is. So I am going to click on next. I accept the agreement. Next, next, next. I am going to leave it full and click next. It's showing me the start menu folder, create a desktop icon, next, and this is going to ask for evolution key. I have downloaded my evolution key previously, so license key, and I'm going to browse my license key, and here next, and this is going to give you information, next, and install. So going to close this one, and it will take few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes to get the installation done for the StarWind Virtual SAN. I have one drive in my computer, my server. If I'm going to show you computer management, so on disk management, I have one near about 1 TB drive for SAN, where I am going to create my learns and target for the iSCSI for the StarWind. So this is all about my. I have formatted it to NTFS. So it will take few minutes to get done the installation. So it's asking to configure the SMI agent right now. Click yes, and these are the default setting for like StarWind agent configuration. So I'm going to leave it default. If you want, you can change these details. Otherwise, I'm going to click on OK. It's going to install the agent services and VSS provider module. So the installation of virtual SAN is completed. I am going to click on finish. It's going to launch the management console for StarWind So it's connected to local storage, and it is asking for storage pool it not configure. So I'm going to choose my path and going to select E drive, click open. So it's going to put my every file which I'm going to create and my virtual SAN it's going to store in my E drive. So here is my console for virtual SWAN. I'm going to create target for on it and going to select my server and add device. On add device I'm going to click on hard disk device, click next, virtual disk, next, and I'm going to put my name disk 1, and the first disk I'm going to uh, create for my quorum, so it's 10 GB for quorum disk. Next, leave it default. Next, write back. Perfect, no issues. I don't going to specify the cache parameter. Click next, and this is going to create my new target with the name disk 0 and allow multiple concurrent iSCSI connections. Click next and click on create. So it's going to create my first storage. Here it is, and I'm going to add my second storage. Click next, next, and the name I'm going to give it disk 02, and I'm going to put here 200, which I'm going to use for CSV disk. So going to click on next, next, leave it default, no cache flash parameter, and it's going to create second disk for me and click on create. So I have done the two things. I have downloaded and installed StarWind on DC01, and I have created highly available storage for failover cluster on Win2K DC01. And the next step, install failover cluster and multipath. I have a feature on both Hyper-V server. So I am going on my Hyper-V 1, and on the dashboard I'm going to click on manage, add role and features, going to click on next, next, and select my server, next, and the server role, click next. On the server feature page I'm going to select failover cluster, and it's going to give me pop-up. It's okay, add features, and I'm going to select multipath, click next and install. And the same I'm going to click do on my second Hyper-V host. On Hyper-V 02 I'm going to click on manage, add roles, next, 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 and on the server role next. On the server feature page I'm going to select my failover cluster, add feature, and multipath. Click next. So once the installation is finished for multipath, I'm going to reboot my both server, Hyper-V 01 and Hyper-V 02. So it's installing the setup. So the installation for failover cluster and multipath is completed. If I think server is not require reboot, so it's not asking for reboot, so we are good to go in my next step, discovering target portal on Hyper-V uh, 01 and Hyper-V 02. I'm going on it. This is my Hyper-V 01. I'm going to open command prompt, cmd. It's a little bit slow. Going to open it. On the command prompt, I'm going to type small computer system interface CPL. So it's going to launch the iSCSI initiator. So on the discovery, I'm going to click on discovery portal, and I'm going to type my server name for virtual SAN, and going on advanced local adapter, Microsoft ISCS initiator, IP address for initiator IP. I'm going to select my server name, click OK. From here you can see I got the two link for disk 01 and disk 02. It's find the two targets, and same I'm going to do on my Hyper-V 02. On the discovery I have already, but I'm going to remove it. I'm going to put the information once again, and advanced Microsoft ISCSI and initiator IP, and click OK. And here is our target. So most probably we have done these things, and now I'm going to configuring target and configuring multipath. So on a Hyper-V 01 I'm going to launch once again the initiator, and going to select my disk 01 target, going to click on connect. Now I'm going to enable both options, enable multipathing on advanced button. I'm going to select my Microsoft ISCS initiator and the second initiator IP address, and my target IP address for ISCS or StarWind server. Going to click on OK. Okay, so here it is connected with my disk 01. I'm going to do the same on my second target, and it's connected. And for now I'm going on my Hyper-V 02. I'm going to repeat the same to connect the both disk on my Hyper-V 02. Going on click connect, multipathing, local adapter, initiated IP, target IP. So okay, here it is connected. And for the disk 2 going to do the same. Click OK. Okay, so it's connected. And for now if you want to check, go to computer management or boot server, and you can see on the disk management you have two disks. For disk 1 is 10 GB, disk 2 is 200 GB. So for the same, you can verify both are created attached to our both servers. And for enabling multipath I'm going to click on same, and ISCS initiator. On the first I'm going to click on device, and then on next I'm going to configure multipathing. So for this I'm going to launch you can launch multipathing window from server manager also from here, mpio, and you can also type mpio the cpl to launch the multipathing. On the discovery multipathing, go and select add support for ISCSI device. I'm going to select this one, and once you apply click on add, it's going to ask you to reboot the server. I'm going to reboot my server, and same I'm going to do on my Hyper-V 02. Close this, um, close this, From here I'm going to launch multipathing. On the discovery multipathing I'm going to select add support for iSCSI device, click add, and I'm going to reboot this server also. So once the boot server is rebooted, we are good to go to configure multipathing option for the iSCSI. So the both Hyper-V server is rebooted and I'm going to log in it. So on Hyper-V 2 I'm going to log in again. So it will take few minutes to come back and give us this uh, the server manager screen. So just wait for till. So the server is rebooted and I'm going to configure the multipathing. I'm going to open the command prompt and ISKC initiator and select the disk 1 and I'm going to click on device and going to click on multipathing MPUI. I'm going to select failover only and apply. Okay, and going to do same with the second disk MPUI failover only, apply. Okay, to close it. And if you want to verify it, go to select device and the properties MPI it's selected to failover only and we are good to go. And I'm going to do the same on my second server, second Hyper-V server, and going to launch command prompt ISKC initiator, going to launch it and select the disk one device multipathing. I'm going to select failover only, apply. Okay, and going to do same on my second disk, apply. okay 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 so we are done with connecting target and configuring multi, and I'm going on my Hyper-V01 and going to click on computer management and same going to open computer management on Hyper-V2. So it's loading the snap in for the computer management, and here we are. I'm going to click on disk management and I'm going to bring my both disk online. From the current status is offline, you can see. I'm going to click on online and right click and initialize disk. I'm going to select both disk and GPT and click OK. It's going to like on both disks are online. You can verify from here also. Once I go to, and I am going to create a partition on it. Leave the default name, click next, and same I'm going to do one partition for my 200 GB. This I'm going to leave it name as a shan drive and next and finish. Once the partition is created, you can verify the same on my computer. On my computer you can see we have two disks, one for 10 GB and one for 200 GB, and I'm going to refresh this on my Hyper-V 02 and you can see it's connected with my second second Hyper-V server also, and I'm going to bring online on it also. So now you can see it's available on both Hyper-V, Hyper-V 0 and Hyper-V 02. You can verify it, and for now I'm going to do my next step, create cluster. So I'm going to launch, I am going to close it, and I'm going on tools and failover cluster manager, and from here I'm going to close this one, and from the validate configuration I'm going to click on validate can configuration from the action panel, and it's opening the configuration manager page. So we are on valid configuration wizard. Click next, and I'm going to select my both Hyper-V server. So I'm going to type Hyper-V, check. I'm going to select my both Hyper-V server, and OK, and it's going to add my both server in selected server. Here we are, and going to click on next. On the test option we have to select run all tests recommended. I'm going to leave default and click next, and it's asking for like confirmation to begin the test. I'm going to click on next, and it's going to take a like validation for all our configuration and check we are good to go to create a cluster with this configuration which is right now on our Hyper-V server, or we require anything. So it's going to give us warning or error, or we are good to go to create the cluster. So just waiting to complete this validation. The test is almost complete. So it's validating the network communication. So Hyper-V configuration, the validation is completed successfully, and we have success in inventory and uh, Hyper-V configuration. We have few warning in storage and networking, and moreover we are good to go to create a cluster. So I'm going to take on create cluster now using this the validated nodes, and click on finish. So it's going to launch a create a create cluster wizard. I'm going to click on next, and I'm going to put my one IP address for my cluster. So I'm going to use 203, and my name for the clusters I'm going to use prod production Hyper-V. So click on next. So I'm going to click production Hyper-V. I have already object with the same name and active directory, so we got the error. So I'm going to use prod Hyper-V cluster, and I'm going to change the IP address to 20 and click next. It's validating settings, please wait, and we are good to go. IP address this, and add two nodes and our cluster name, and going to click on next, and now it's creating the cluster in for the Hyper-V. It's creating like few objects in the active directory and registering the DNS and these things. So just wait for a few seconds to um, uh, get the cluster created on our infrastructure for the Hyper-V. So it's creating the cluster. It will take just 1 or 2 minutes to create a cluster. So you can see cluster is completed successfully. You have successfully completed the create cluster wizard. I'm going to click on finish, and it's going to launch the like add the cluster in our Hyper-V failover cluster manager. And here we are. We have a cluster manager, nodes, role, and storage. We have two nodes in our cluster, and we have two disks. The first disk is gone, 10 GB disk is required for the quorum, and the second for available storage. So in the next step, I'm going to do the final step, add cluster share volume. So I'm going to click on select my second disk, and I'm going to click on the right click and add cluster shared volume. So I'm going to click on, right now it's F drive. If I go to here, I can see it's F drive. So I'm going to click on the on my second is add to cluster shared volume. So once I click on there, you can see cluster it's converted to assign to from assign to cluster shared volume. And if I go to my computer, it's invisible from here. And if I go to my C drive, here is the cluster volume. You can verify. Here is the path for the cluster share volume, and for the same you can verify on our Hyper-V02. Here it is. So we have completed successfully installation and configuration of Hyper-V cluster with the StarWind virtual SAN. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe me for more videos. If you have any question, any query, you can mail me on my given mail ID. And thanks once again for watching. Bye bye.